In the unlikely event of an emergency, the captain will give you full instructions. For your own safety, and in particular for any young children on board, please remain seated as much as possible.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome on board your... Oh, that's nice. So we're going to pass through the Westminster Bridge, and we're going to be able to admire the Houses of Parliament. Parliament was completed in 1859. You may think the building looks very old. That's because it's in a mock medieval style. It's called neo-Gothic. Architecture, they're novels. Think about the Bronte sisters and Jane Austen, for instance. So it's this mock medieval style. If you look at all the windows there in the centre, you've got heraldic shields of the aristocrats of Britain. Ahead of us you have the bridge with the red arches. That is the Lambeth Bridge. The red arches remind us of the House of Lords. And to the right, peeping out between the trees, two white buildings with yellow roofs and flagpoles, MI5 Secret Services. Generations of British monarchs are buried in the graveyard by Lambeth. And also buried in there, you've got Captain Bligh of Mutiny on the Bounty fame. He took part in not just one mutiny, but two. Ahead of us are the red and white boards of St Thomas's Hospital. This is a world-famous teaching hospital. It was founded by Nurse Florence Nightingale, the Lady with the Lamp. Florence Nightingale also designed the turret pieces of the building. And the teaching... She introduced a rule book for nurses. Up until that time, nurses had been rather unruly people. She introduced a rule book. Rule number 1, nurses must be sober when they examine their patients. Thank you, Florence. Take a look at the great clock tower of Parliament. We now call it Queen Elizabeth II's Tower. That's in honour of our Queen's Diamond Jubilee, which took place last year. At 1/4 past, 1/2 and 1/4 you hear the Westminster chimes, a different set of bells. Arches either side. It was the Victorians who narrowed the Thames. What they were doing was reclaiming land from the Thames to create the embankment and put in the first sewer system for London. That was done by Sir Joseph Bazalgette, the great civil engineer. We owe him a great deal. Because of his work on the sewer system, the Thames River is one of the cleanest in Europe, has over 110 different species of fish in it. The average next year is 4.5 million people on the wheel. Ahead of us, Golden Jubilee Bridges. At the top left-hand side of the bridge, the dome of Charing Cross, one Embankment Place, this rather modern-looking building, where they filmed the Diary of Bridget Jones, number 1. All the office sequences. Hugh Grant and Renee Zellweger. And then as we come through the bridge, we're going to our right, and we are going to see the Royal Festival Hall. It is a world-class concert venue. It's home to the London Philharmonic Orchestra. The Philharmonic have gone off to Glyndebourne to do the opera season, but the Orchestra of the Enlightenment are in residence at the moment. And every evening they are doing concerts of Baroque music by Handel. So I recommend you go along. And just last night they had a fabulous concert with a singer from Zagreb called Renata Popovic. I've worked with her many times. She's very fine indeed. She was at the festival hall last night. The Ladies' Bridge, because it was built by ladies of the Voluntary Corps in the Second World War. Now, the building looks a bit like a multi-storey car park. It's in a 1970s style of brutalist architecture. But I promise you, inside is absolutely fabulous. And where else would you go for £12 a ticket to see an excellent play with an international cast? It's fabulous in there. First tarmac to your right is London Studios, in front of it is Lower London Studios, home of ITV television. So, programmes such as the X Factor finale, which is women, and deck shows, from over on our right. Crystal Rain's great cathedral, it is in the Baroque style. It was completed between 1710 and 1711. You could go up and visit the cathedral, you could go to the top of the dome, go to Whispering Gallery, speak or whisper, and the echo comes back to you. Great time to be there is for evensong at 5:15, go and hear the service with the world famous choir and the organ playing, or even the rehearsal for that, which takes place usually at about 3 o'clock. But Thomas Doggett, who the pub is named after, well, he was an 18th century Irish comedian. He made the first prize for a riverboat race to be rowed along the Thames. It's rowed to this day by young Thames watermen. It's called Doggett's Coat and Badge, and Captain Sidney entered that and won it in the past. Another in this vessel, Danny, who came first in 2010. Silverfleeter has a proud tradition with the Doggett's winners. Blackfriars bridges were passing under, named after the old Blackfriars monastery that stood on the left of the bridge in the 12th century. So we've seen beauty, which is St Paul's Cathedral. Now we're going to see what some people regard as the beast. On our right-hand side, you have the old Bankside power station with its enormous, imposing chimney. Actually, I rather like this building. It was transformed into the year 2000 into the Tate Modern Gallery. So this is Tate Modern, just at the right. 7 floors of contemporary art for you to see for free. The 2000 year festivities and had to be closed after 2 days. It had begun to sway from side to side. It took 15 months to put the metal springy supports underneath. It's now very safe. Features in a Harry Potter movie, also in the opening title sequence of The Apprentice on BBC TV. The Sun newspaper, always up for a laugh, sent a page 3 girl onto the bridge with 2 enormous plates of green jelly. Go and see the play tonight. £5 for a standing ticket in the courtyard. And you become a groundling, just like Shakespeare's audience did. They used to stand through the play, and the actors are standing right next to you when they speak their verse. So it's interactive. It's the best way to get to know your Shakespeare. Go to the Globe. It's authentic. Ahead of us is Southwark Bridge. It's in Art Deco style. It has gas lamps on the top. Very pretty bridge, this one. And to the right of it, you see stairs. They are waterman's stairs. That's where Samuel Pepys, the great London diarist, would have stood in the 1600s as he was waiting for the wherry boat, the first ferry service over the Thames. So those green grimy steps over there, they're a national monument. Do you like a good address for a pub? On our right, you have the Anchor at Bankside. It's an 18th century pub with red windows. And that is where Charles Dickens enjoyed a pint. Also, it's on the site of the old Bankside Tavern, which was the pub where Shakespeare's actors used to change their costumes.